working on the left leg, we're going to do a magic circle with 4 with the light yarn. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And what's nice about the leg is we're only changing color the one time. Okay. So, pull through. Round 2 is just going to be 3 single crochet and then an increase. So 1, 2, 3, and then an increase. Okay, and then we're going to close it up, chain 1. Next round is just 5 around, and then we're going to switch to the dark. Alright, so we're going to switch when we connect our stitching. With this dark yarn, we're going to go increase 1, increase 1. So increase. And then a single. And we're going to increase again. And then we're going to do a single, and then we're going to increase in the last stitch, and then join. And then join. And then the next round is just going to be 8 single crochet. Join, chain 1. Alright, so there's only 2 rounds left, so round 6 is going to be single increase, and we're going to do that 4 times. So 1, an increase, and another one, then an increase, and another one, and an increase. And one more time, single, and then an increase. And we're going to join. And then the last round is just 12 single crochet around. And then when we fast enough, we'll leave a long tail. And then when we join, we're going to leave a long enough tail that we can sew this on. So just a few inches, nothing crazy. There you are. So that is the left leg. We're going to move on to the left arm. Moving on to the left leg. So we're going to do a magic circle with 4 and then single crochet around for 4, and we're using our dark yarn to start. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Close it up. And 4 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Close it up. And just like with the left arm, we're only doing 1 color change for this whole section, and it's not till later on, which is nice. Okay, and then I'm going to take this time and I'm going to flip this around and trim my magic circle tail. So when things are super small like this, you want to get it done early. You want to flip this right side out early on so it doesn't become difficult later. There we go. Alright, and so now we're going to be doing some increasing. So we're going to go increase 1, increase 1. Okay. Okay. So increase 1, increase, and then 1. Okay. And then we'll close it up. And then we'll just do 6 around. So 1 in every stitch. Six. Close it up. Chain 1. I'm going to increase again. So we're going to increase 1 and we're going to do it 3 times. So increase 1, increase 1, increase, and 1. Okay, and when we join, we're going to join with that new color, the light. Alright, so for the last 2 rounds, we're going to do single crochet 9 around to start. So 1 in every stitch. Oh, make sure you chain 1. There we go. And my 9th one's a little tight. There we go. 9 and join. And for our last round, we are going to increase. So we're going to go increase 2, increase 2, increase 2. So increase 1, 2, then increase 1, 2, and then one more time. Increase 1 and 2. Okay, so finish off and leave enough for to let yourself sew it together. Okay, so we have our left arm and our left leg, and they're kind of opposite in color, so make sure we keep those straight. Okay, so moving on to the right side. So we're moving on to the right leg, so we are going to be using dark yarn, and we're going to start with our magic circle of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, close it up. Okay, and then we're going to increase right away, so we're going to do 3 single crochet and then increase. So 1, 2, 3, and then increase in that last stitch. And we'll close it, and then this is where I will reorient it so it's right side out, and then trim that magic circle tail. Alright, so round 3, we're just going to go 5 around. Alright, so now we're going to increase, so we are going to increase 1, increase 1. And then increase at the end. Okay. So we're going to increase. And 1. I'm going to do it again. Increase. And then 1. And then increase on that last stitch. Close it up. And on this round, we're just going to do 8 single crochet and then switch to the light. Okay, so we are going to increase 8 times. So we are jumping up quite a bit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 16. Okay. So we're jumping up, and then we are going to drop back down to 12 stitches. So we're going to go decrease 2, and we're going to do that 4 times. So decrease 1, 2. Alright, and then we are going to close it up and leave a tail. Alright, so that is the right leg. And then we're moving on to for the last extremity, we're actually going to be making a couple of color swaps. So we're going to start with our magic circle of 4. And I gotta tell you, it's, working with single crochet or a magic circle with 4, not my favorite thing to do. It's very confining. Alright, so we got 4. My tip is to not do them very tight, so that way you can really feel where each stitch is. Okay, we're going to do 4 around. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to close it up, but we're going to switch colors as we close it up. So what I'm going to do beforehand is I'm actually going to flip this inside out, because it becomes very difficult to switch colors in such a confined area. So if I flip it over, I can orient myself much better when switching colors. I'm going to go into that stitch. I'm going to grab my dark. So continuing with dark, we're going to go increase 1, increase 1. And join. Once again, we'll have to invert. Okay, so now our next round is just going to be 6 around. And close it up. Chain 1. Okay, so now we're going to go increase 1, and for a total of 9 stitches. So 1, 2, and number 3 is by itself. 4 and 5 are together for an increase, and then whoops, and then 6 is by itself, and then 7, 8 are together, and 9's by itself. Okay, and then as we finish that one, we are actually going to switch back to the light. Okay, so now we're going to go around for 9 total stitches. We have 1 round left, and that is going to be increase 2, and we're going to do it 3 times. Increase 2, increase 2, increase 2. So we got increase 1, 2, then another increase, and then 1, 2, and the last one increase 1 and 2. Close it up. Leave a long enough tail that you can sew it onto the body. Right? And so here are your four limbs. So these ones are the left leg, right leg. Then we have the left arm, right arm. So you can see that the opposite color scheme seems to be happening right now. So we got the left arm and the right leg. Start off with the dark and go to the light, and then these two are kind of independent of themselves because this one switches colors a couple of times. So go ahead and sew those on, and you are pretty much done the body, and then we'll move on to the leaf. All right, so to create the 5-point leaf, the one that kind of looks like a star, you're going to need 2 different shades of, I'm using green. You can use 2 different shades of red, whatever color that you really want to use, but if you want to stay standard with the Zelda franchise, then green or red is probably your best bet. So what we're going to do to start is we're going to chain 6 with a lighter color. And I'm also going to be using, obviously, scissors and my 3.5mm hook. So I'm going to chain, so there's no magic circle for this pattern, which is nice. So let's go with 6. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then it says from the second chain from the hook, so the one that's touching the hook we don't want to use, we want to use the second one. We're going to do 4 single crochet all the way down and then 3 in the last stitch. So we're only using 5 of those 6 chains. So we're going to do 4 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and you should have 1 chain left, and we're going to put 3 in there, and we're going to be wrapping around the outside of the knot here. So we're going to do 3 in there, so 1, 2, 3, and since we did 3 in the same one, you're going to notice that you're naturally sort of wrapping around. And then I'm just going to tuck my knot back there. And we're going to be using, so if you see the knot, we're going to be using the other side of the chain to work the next little bit. So it says here, continuing on the opposite side of the chain, we're going to slip stitch into the first one. So just grab, pull through. And then it says single, double, single, slip. Okay, so we're going to do a single. Then we're going to do a double in the next one. Pull through 2, pull through 2. And then we're going to do another single. And then we're going to slip stitch. And then we're going to slip stitch into the last. Oh, it's a slip stitch 3 into the same stitch. So at the very end here, we're going to do 3 slip stitches. So 1. Doing multiple slip stitches is not overly comfortable, but you'll get used to it. So now we're creating the tip of our leaf. And then we're going to do slip stitch, single, double, single. So we're going to do basically the opposite of what we just did. So you can see that we sort of bellowed out here. We're going to kind of start small and then get big and then back to small. So we're going to slip stitch into the first one. Then we're going to do single and then a double. And then a single and then a slip stitch. Okay. And there is one of our leaves. So there's the tip of our leaf, and then we're going to be building onto the sides of these. All right, so point number 2, it says to chain 9. So we're not going to fasten off yet. So we're going to chain 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9, and then it says in the second chain from the hook. So if we chain 9, we're only using 8 of them. We're going to skip the first one, and then we're going to do 7 all the way down, and then 3 in the last one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we're going to do 3 in the last one. So 1, 2, 3. And then what we're doing right now is we're actually going to be skipping over where that leaf is attached. So just skip over that. So we're going to be working in the holes on the other side of our chain. And what we're going to do is we're going to go slip stitch, single, and then half double double. So we're doing an extra stitch than we did before. When I say before, I mean on the first leaf. Let's get that tail out of the way. Here we go. All right. So once again, a little bit awkward to maneuver, but you can do it. Okay, so we're going to start with our slip stitch so that we know that we are comfortably on the side of that chain. Then we're going to go single. Then we're going to do half double, so wrap around, insert, and then pull through all 3. There we go. And then a double. And then a half double. And then a single. And a slip stitch. You should be at the pretty much at the point right now. So we're going to do a slip stitch here, and then it says to do 3 in the tip there. So we're going to do 3 slip stitches. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. There we go. Now we're going to work in our reverse. So now we're on the other side of our tip. We're going to do slip stitch and then single. So slip stitch and then single and then half double. These half doubles don't seem to cooperate with me. Then we're going to do a double and then another half double and then a single and then a slip stitch. Alright, so now you can see, this one's a little bit clearer. You can see there's our second leaf. So we have one leaf here, we have a slightly bigger leaf, and then we're going to go and we're going to have an even bigger. For the biggest leaf, we're going to do a chain of 12 now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and just like we did before, we're only using 11 of them, so we're going to do 10 single crochet and then 3 in the last. Okay, and then we're going to do 3 in the last one. 1, 2, 3, which forces us to the other side of the leaf. And in this case, we are now going to be, let me just get those out of the way, here we go, working in the back of those chains. So we are going to do slip stitch, single, half double, double, triple. So we're basically just increasing the size of that biggest, the widest point of our leaf. So I'm going to start with a slip stitch to be on the other side. It's awkward with that first one because that leaf is in the way. Here we go. Now we're going to do a single, then a half double, and then a double, triple. So you're gonna wrap around twice before inserting. So triple, 1, 2, 3 times around. Then we're gonna do a double. Then a half double. And a single. And then a slip stitch, and that should bring us to pretty much at the tip. And we're going to once again do 3 in the end there. So find the furthest point into the tip and do 3 single or slip stitches through there. So 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to do the opposite all the way back down. So we're going to start with a slip stitch on the other side of the tip of the leaf. And then we're going to do a single, a half double, some more yarn, here we go, and then a double, and a triple, so wrap around twice, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, and then a double, and a half double, and a single, and a slip stitch. Alright, so let me just lay this flat for you because we're past the halfway point. So you can see the 3 different sizes of our leaves right now. So right now this should be the top of our Korok's face, and then we'll have an identical leaf over on this side, an identical leaf going down this way, and then we'll work on the outside. Okay, so what you're going to do right now is you're going to do exactly what we did for point number 2. So I'm not gonna bore you with that one, but we're gonna do the chain 9 and then work our way back through, and then we're gonna do a chain 6 and then work our way all the way through. So I will see you when those 2 leaves are done. All right, so now that you are done your 5 points of your leaf, we're gonna need to seal this up. So what we're gonna do is, since the last stitch that you did was a slip stitch, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna cut probably maybe about 5 or 6 inches of yarn, and I'm just gonna lift my hook straight up. And what I'm going to do is, and I'm actually going to use my darning or my tapestry needle, and I'm going to actually sew this shut. And the reason why I'm doing it this way is because I find that it's kind of a more seamless sort of look. The pattern actually calls for slip stitching it all the way across. I find that sometimes that can look a little bit bulky. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to flip my project over, because this is where it's going to be attached, so you're not going to see the seams here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to zigzag back and forth. Okay, and I'm just going to seal this up. I'm just going to go back and forth between 2 leaves. I'm just going to make sure that these small chain 6 leaves are paired up, and then the chain 9 leaves are paired up. So right now I am just on the edge of the chain 6 leaves. So I'm just going to do that last little bit there. So I'm kind of almost in the transition between the 2 sizes of leaves. So those are now attached together. So then I'm going to go through and do the same for the chain 3 leaves, and I'm going to sew these together to close up that patch. Okay, so what I've done is when I flip it over, I kind of want to just make sure that there are no gaps here. So this is essentially the inner part of our Korok face leaf. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fasten off with this light green yarn, and we're actually going to fasten on with our dark green yarn. And I always like to fasten on in a place where you're not going to see it very much, so I'm going to fasten on right at the bottom right here. Okay, and I will show you what to do after you fasten it on. So I have attached my dark yarn to my light yarn. So what I've done is I've actually attached it just to the left of the centermost point. So this is actually the bottom of the face. So I'm actually upside down right now. This should be the top of the face right here. So what I'm going to do is we're going to work our way from right to left all the way around. And what we're going to do, so all I've done is kind of put my yarn, I knotted, put a slip stitch onto my hook, pulled it through, and I'm just going to chain one because we're doing single crochet all the way around. So what we're going to do is we're going to single crochet all the way to this tip right here, and then we're going to stop for a second. So single crochet your way across. It's not a huge deal how many stitches you use to get there. It should only be about 5 or 6, but okay. So single crochet your way up to the tip. And the ones at the tip are going to be probably the tightest because they were those triple slip stitches that you did. So when you get to the tip, what you're going to do is you're going to do a single and then a double. So I've already done a single in there by mistake. I didn't realize that I'd gone that far. Actually, no, that should be it right there. So I'm going to do a single crochet into that and then a double crochet as well into the same stitch. Okay, so right now we're quite lifted off of that point. And so what we're going to do is, since we already did a single on the right side of that double crochet, we're actually going to kind of almost finagle our way into having another one on the left side. So because a double crochet is essentially 2 of those wraparound pull through 2s, it's almost like 2 single crochets built into one. So you're actually going to go into the hole that's furthest away from your hook, but still that dark green, and you're going to do a single crochet into that hole. So you kind of have a single on both sides of your double crochet, and then you're going to continue single crocheting down to the kind of the valley, I suppose you want to say, point at which the leaves connect. Okay, so we're at the point at which the leaves would connect, and what they want you to do is they want you to actually skip that. And the reason they want to do this is because they want these leaves to be a little bit more connected. So what we're going to do is we're going to skip that innermost stitch and then start right here in the first stitch of our next leaf. Then you're going to see that it kind of pulls itself so that these leaves are a little bit closer together. So what you're going to do is you're going to do exactly what we did with this first leaf. You're going to single crochet up to the tip, do a single and then a double, and then a single crochet on the actual double crochet itself, so onto that actual pillar, and then single crochet down, skip the innermost stitch, and continue with all your other leaves. So I will let you do that, and I will see you at the end. All right, so now that we've made our way all the way around our 5-point leaf, you're just going to slip stitch to that first stitch, and then we're going to fasten off, but we're going to leave a long tail for sewing. Now when we sew it to the actual Korok body, you're going to notice that you're not actually going to sew the tips, like the top 3 tips. They're actually going to be kind of airborne, if you want to say. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fasten off, I'm going to sew it to my my Korok, and I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Okay, so I have sewn on the face leaf for my Korok. So as you can see, the longest leaf is actually a little bit floating. So if I turn this around, you can see that it's kind of airborne. So what I did is when I got to any point, so it's really just these 3 leaves that you really have to do this for, because you can see this one's free flowing, so is this one. When I got around, I sewed along each stitch all the way up, and then when I stopped here, I made sure that to go in through my Korok, through to the other side, and then up through that way. So it's invisible, it's hiding, the dark yarn is hiding behind the leaf in the Korok, and then back up, and then same thing, go in, underneath, come up, and so on and so forth. So it's nice to have a little bit of the leaf hanging off. It looks a little bit more accurate to the actual character. So the next step basically would be to embroider or felt. I like to use felting, like needle felting, to put on some eyes and a nose and a mouth, things like that. So hope you enjoyed crocheting a little Korok.